How's it going, guys? Today we're checking out the Maono PD200W Hybrid. Now this is the world's first wireless dynamic microphone, and it just came out today. Now when I first heard that, I was pretty intrigued because that's one of the slightly more inconvenient parts of using a desktop or podcast mic is trying to figure out your cable management. And wireless microphone systems in the past can be a little bit hit or miss, like the first generation AirPods that had mics in them. The mic quality really was bad because it's trying to send a live mic signal. So I'm really excited to test this out because they're really pushing the studio quality of this. Now right inside, as we open it up, it actually shows you the different options for connecting and using this mic. So if you're using it with a computer, you can use it with the wireless mode, and essentially there's a little USB-C dongle piece that plugs into your computer, and so it will wirelessly use the mic's audio. Alternatively, you can directly wire to the USB-C like a traditional podcast type mic. The other really cool thing I'm looking forward to testing out with you guys right now is the mobile phone use, and you can use it wirelessly using that same dongle, plug it in USB-C to the bottom of your phone, and use this very high quality mic for audio with your phone, and also you can do that wired. Let's take a look at this guy. So we've got the user's manual, little quick setup guide right here, and here we have it. So this is actually a full metal design of the body. And then you've got this shock mount right here. Comes with a windscreen, very nice. You can actually take that windscreen off. And this is the actual mic itself. Also very nice to see it has the traditional XLR output, which it actually didn't really mention because that's just, I guess they just assume you know. You could use this as, you know, your typical XLR podcast mic. You can use it wirelessly with your computer, with your phone, or you can also use it wired over USB-C. Very versatile, I must say, very versatile. So there is a power button on the back. We'll just hold that and it turns on. Nice RGB lights over here. That is pretty darn cool, I must say. You hit the mute button and it turns red. So if you're live streaming on your phone, you know, you could hit that mute button, hit it again, you're back live. Also in the box, we've got a USB-C to USB-A cable. And this actually has an adapter, so it can be USB-C to USB-C, or you throw on that to USB-A. Now, inside this box, I believe is gonna be our dongle. USB-C receiver is the technical term. So this is the USB-C receiver, very minimal guy right here. Has a very small button on the bottom that says AI, so I'm assuming AI noise reduction. We've got 2 extra rubber bands for the shock mount of this guy. And then this is actually a 3-inch extension cable if you have multiple things plugged into your computer, and this is a bit of a wide guy. And I knew that might be a problem for some people, so you could just plug this in like so, and this would eliminate having any conflicts with this being too big to fit next to additional ports. I was about to move this box to the side, but there's actually more underneath. Very heavy. We've got like a 2-pound solid metal base plate right there. And then this little mini riser to plug the mic into. We'll loosen this up just a little bit. Now we'll screw in the mic, just like that, tighten it up. And you don't need to have any cables. You can use this just like this. Nice adjustment of the height right here if you're taking a seat. And then you got your little tilt right here. So far, very impressive build quality. All right, so I plugged in the wireless dongle. I opened up QuickTime Player on my laptop, and you are currently listening to this new wireless mic. I haven't even adjusted any settings. This is just plug and play what this mic sounds like. Very easy to set up, I must say. Let me talk about some other features. So this mic itself has a 60-hour battery life, and then you recharge it via USB-C. As I mentioned during the unboxing, there's 3 different ways to use the audio. So there's the 2.4 gigahertz wireless that we are currently using. And then there's also the USB-C direct connection to your computer, as well as the XLR for more professional audio setups. And that's actually something that I've dealt with, you know, going back several years. I always wanted to use a professional microphone such as this, but converting XLR into a USB-C format always was a little bit finicky. And so for this mic to take care of all of that is really nice. They're saying this is studio quality, but smarter. It has a 30mm dynamic capsule with a cardioid pickup, which during my brief test when I was listening to this, I am a big fan of a cardioid pickup pattern. Essentially, it's just going to pick up what is right here close to the mic, and you're not going to hear what is farther away. So that is really good, especially if you're in not a perfect studio environment. If there's a little bit of background noise, having that cardioid pickup pattern is my favorite pickup pattern for a mic like this. You can actually fine tune the EQ and reverb with their app, which is called Maono Link, available on desktop and mobile. And there's 4 presets and 10 reverb levels. There is dual track recording. I'm assuming if you have 2 of these microphones, it will record both separately. And so you can edit precisely in post and not have cross talking. So if 2 people are talking at the same time, you'll have separate audio tracks so you can isolate the one person. Studio clarity in any room. So the cardioid pickup pattern has a 3-stage noise cancellation of -5, -10, and -30 dB, and that tames echoes, hums, and background chatter, which is what I was mentioning before. Very impressive. Built-in no worry recording. So this has a stable 60 meter, which is just under 200 feet of wireless range, 60 hours of battery life, live volume and gain knob, and RGB color shift. So I believe you can actually change the RGB colors in the Maono Link app. Now the time that I've been most looking forward to, I want to test this mic out wirelessly with my phone. All right, so we are now wirelessly connected to my iPhone 17 Pro, and I didn't even look that closely on the receiver module, but it actually has an indicator light for the 2 different mics, so you can record these 2 mics, connect them to one receiver module, like you're having a podcast with an additional person, and it will split that audio so you have the option of isolating just one person or the other person. Very, very cool. This does kind of look a little bit funny, like I'm just pretending, because if you have anybody who knows anything about podcasting and they'll see this XLR on the back and it looks like I'm not plugged into anything, right? Very confusing. There's no wires, there's no nothing, but it's using the audio from this mic. That's pretty darn cool. And since this can connect to your phone, the options are pretty much endless for the possibilities. If you're on a FaceTime call, you just want to have a little bit higher quality, Zoom call, a live stream on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. This is really going to step up your audio game. I must say I am very impressed, and I'm definitely going to be using this mic in future videos and even implementations that I probably haven't even thought of yet. Definitely check out the Maono PD200W hybrid microphone. You can find it in the link below. Thank you all for watching, and as always, don't forget to keep it pro.